Hear ye, all overlords and ladies of the land. I am SirMemphis, noble Knight Errant of the KuriKingdom, welcoming you once again to another fine day of jousts and duels involving a deck revolving around dragons. It had to be dragons again. So someone is playing a cruel joke upon me, and I shan't stand for it. Except for today. Today I will accept it, but I will not stand for it, I tell you. Yes, my noble lords and ladies, it is time once more for the 100 Days of Yu-Gi-Oh, upon which every day, for 100 consecutive days, we shall be dueling with 100 different decks every single day. It is time for I, SirMemphis, noble Knight Errant of the KuriKingdom, to be battling out once more here on the 12th day of the 100 days, and we shall be taking a look at a deck based upon ye olden Dragonmaids, which are dragons disguised as maidens. Clearly they are the work of the devil and they must be destroyed, but we shall be dueling with them first, and then we shall be burning them all at the stake, as one must do against, well, are they dragons disguised as women or the other way around? I'm not certain. We'll figure that out later, but right now we shall be dueling with this deck, which has been provided to us personally by legendary bard Levi's Stories, who for some reason wanted me to do this specifically. I'm not sure if he's trying to provoke me or if he's just trying to get some sort of material for play. Either way, works for me. You know, either way, I can work with either or. Regardless, we have our deck here today. We shall be showing off ye olden combos, and thus for the olden wombos, the what cards we shall do and what cards we shan't. So let us begin today's festivities with 3 duels against various opponents using these dragonic maids, which shall then be smited after which. Alrighty, my lords and ladies, the actual first duel of the day. The first one doesn't really count. I'll just be putting down some random rogue. This is the actual first duel of the day. Let us go forth. We shall go first with our deck, and what do we have for it? Well, once again, this particular maid seems to be stuck to mine hand. It's not something normally that happens, but this is happening today. Let me think about this. I shall activate the Dragonmaid's Hospitality. Normally, Dragonmaids are simply dragons and we don't care much for them, but this is what we shall do. We shall summon forth our Dragonmaid Errant, which will allow me to send another Dragonmaid from my deck to the Ungrave. This will allow me to start by summoning up multiple monsters, including this monster, the Lady's Dragonmaid. I'm not sure which lady decided to have a dragon as their maid, but they're going on the pyre as well. That's just how it goes. But regardless, the Dragonmaid will be summoned forth. When she is summoned, she shall summon another maid from my deck. And in this situation, we shall summon the Chambermaid. This is the monster that searches the spells and the trap cards. That is what we want to do. Let's see here. What do I want to get right now? There are many cards I could get right now. I'm thinking... There are many options here. I need to be careful of which I pick. I suppose the Tidying Trap will work. It allows me to return cards from the field to the hand. Very useful of a card. Let's see. Let me think about this. I shall activate my Dragonmaid's Changeover. Clearly a spell bestowed upon the Dragonmaids by the devil, but allows them to transform from little girls into large dragons. We shall summon forth a large dragon as we do. So use these 2 monsters to summon forth the Dragonmaid Shell. Clearly just the most powerful one of the lot, I surmise. Let's see. That would allow me to summon back another monster. I do want to do that. Let's do that. I shall summon forth the Nursemaid. The Nursemaid shall revive the Chambermaid. Clearly they're in cahoots with each other. As one would expect, they are all dragon maids, therefore they must all work in tandem with each other to refrain their evil deeds. Let's see, I shall summon forth this heavenly astrolabe here. That way I have multiple ways of interrupting my opponent upon their turn. Which just goes to show the Dragonmaids have no honor, because if they had honor, they wouldn't need to use tricks and things in order to defeat their opponents. They would simply beat over them. Regardless, the Shale will activate its effect, allowing me to summon back the Chambermaid, and use its effect once more. Very well. That will allow me to get back another card, and this time I believe I shall search back... what is the card? This one, the Welcome spell. But it allows me to get back more cards as well. Let me think. I can perform a fusion summoning right now. I don't believe I want to do that at the moment. I suppose I could. I just don't think I need to at the moment. So I shall abstain. I shall abstain for now. He does have that ability, the Lady's Dragonmaid, but I don't need to do that right now. Let's see. Interesting. Galaxy's Soldier, you say? Well, it is a soldier. A very appropriate opponent to be had. They are preparing to send their soldiers to fight our dragons. Which makes me want to root for my opponent, but regrettably I have to at least attempt to destroy these brave soldiers here. It is just how it is today. That is just how it is. But it is regrettable nonetheless. Alright. You summon forth a wizard, I see. You have many different troops to be facing of these dragons, I see. Let's just see where this goes. Let's see. This summons back your monster from the graveyard. Which will... I don't think it does anything when it's summoned, so I think that's fine. I have the ability to stop my opponent. I simply do not wish to at the moment. Not yet, anyway. Not quite yet. Barely. You're going to change your monster... change your monster to a level 4. Interesting. You're making your monster weaker. I suppose there's a reason for that, but we'll find that out in a moment. Regardless... what are you planning to do? I think my best bet here... What? My Heavenly Spheres! I needed that. Alright. Let's see. This is unaffected by cards unless they target it. So that would mean that means that Shale does not work upon that. That is somewhat obnoxious. Let me think. Let's be think. Put on a card, negate the activation. If I do destroy that card, but then this can't be affected by that, so I think that won't work, regrettably. Regrettably indeed. I don't think that will work. Unless I'm reading the card wrong. I see, you're going to force me to do things then. Very well. If you're going to force this, I suppose it will have to do it this way. I shall simply return everything to the hand. Granted, number monsters are negated, and I don't know how long they will be negated. But at least for the moment, it is. But such is life. Verily, so Galaxy 0, retrieving the Galaxy Summoner. I see. And then whatever this... You have a dragon? I thought you were a noble warrior. Clearly I was mistaken. It's much like seeing these dragons. You'd think that they are maids. They're not maids at all. They're dragons. And this gentleman was not a warrior either. He's playing dragons. And it's just not right. Let's see. Making your monsters level 8 now. Very well, very well. I mean, thus far, this doesn't seem to be that big of an issue. My opponent doesn't have many cards left. He'll summon forth this dragon, which I truly wish that I could do something about, but unfortunately I don't think I can. I'm just going to activate this because it keeps asking me, and I don't want to be annoyed by it. Let's see. You're going to add a Galaxy card from the deck to the hand. Alright. Is there a single card in your deck that can surmount my giant Dragonmaid? I'm not so certain. Perhaps there is. Perhaps there isn't. Galaxy's 100. And a Galaxy or Photon monster. Let's see here. Interesting. My opponent clearly seems to have some other stratagem that they can provide They're certainly trying. I'll give them that much, even though they are using dragons and therefore deserve no respect. They're at least putting in some effort, making it worth the effort to smite them down. Alright, so what does this do? Adds another card from the deck to the hand. You see, this is strange. Back in the KuriKingdom, there is not a lot of searching. There is some, but not to this level. It is rather strange. But it's something I can get very well used to. I've done it many times here in the land of Lord Memphis, and I have learned to deal with all of this searching. So what are you going to search now is the question. You get one spell trap card of the Photon or Galaxy variety. Could be many things. Hyper Galaxy. Tribute it grants to a 2,000 more attack. Target a monster. Tribute it. Summon Galaxy. A dragon again. There's more dragons, why don't you? Very well. Now what are you going to do? You notice that was a quick play spell. I think that they're preparing for later. You summon forth Tachyon Dragon. Very well. I mean, my monsters are both stronger than that, so I'm not sure what the point of that was. Very well. Let's see. During the olden standby phase, I shall... I shall use my Dragon's Cleanup in order to summon another monster. We shall summon forth the Chambermaid. We shall use the Chambermaid's effect to search out more cards. Very good. And I already have the welcome card, so I suppose, once again, I must get the changeover. And normally both of these dragons would do something, but unfortunately they won't. But that's alright. I'd rather the dragons do nothing but be smited and destroyed. So I'm all good for this. Let's just activate the changeover spell. Once again, we shall fusion summon. And we shall summon forth another Sheo using the old one. Being as it's negated, I might as well. And I shall activate the Dragon's Welcome spell. With this card, my opponent is welcome to snuff it, because it is going to make my monsters larger than theirs. Very well. And also, once per turn, if I happen to have multiple of these maidens, I might search out one of my cards of the grave. So let us get back the hospitality spell. Very good. Very good indeed. What does this monster even do? At the start of your battle phase, set a material for this card. During the battle phase, okay, this does nothing. Understood. It does nothing. Let's see. Let us revive the lady's Dragonmaid, I suppose. That way it will activate its effect once more. See, my opponent attempted to negate these, but now it just didn't work very well, did it? Not especially. Let's see. Which do I want to summon? I've already used the Chambermaid. I suppose I can go for the Nursemaid? Why not? Who is a revivable? Oh, I don't have anyone who can be revived, do I? Doesn't matter. I'd rather the dragon stay in the graveyard anyway. That's what dragons are meant to be. Let's see. Target a face-up monster. Players can activate that monster's effects this turn. I don't think that matters too much, but it's interesting to know, that's all. Let's see. I could summon forth a Chaos Soldier, which is a warrior, as opposed to more dragons, so I'm tempted to do this one. Why not? Verily, we shall summon forth the Chaos Soldier, for he is a mighty warrior who shall smite the dragon. What say ye to that, dragon? Art thou prepared to snuff it? I hope so, because it's coming to snuff. So we shall attack with our Soldier of Chaos, vanquishing this dragon. Or attempting to vanquish the dragon. What is this? Return of Dragon Lords. There will be no returning of Dragon Lords. They shall all be destroyed. Thus they shall. I shall negate your spell and summon forth another Dragonmaid. During the battle phase, even. So, the Dragonmaid will attack. Regrettably, I was hoping to destroy that, but it's fine either way. It's fine either way. Let's see. I can summon forth the lady's Dragonmaid again by banishing... Let's see. I need to remove... do I want to do that? I'm not certain I want to do that. Not yet, anyway. I think I'm fine for now. My opponent has nothing. So I think we're just fine. Like, what are they going to do with one card? What are they going to possibly do with one card? A whole lot of not much. A whole lot of not much. Alrighty. I shall summon forth the Kitchen Maid. She shall be sent back to the kitchen where the maidens belong, and she shall be using her effect, which will search me another card, such as the Dragonmaid Stern, and sending one to the grave. We shall send Stern to the grave. Very well. And now I might use Lady's Maid. No, I don't have the cards just yet to do that. Very well. Go ahead and get the hospitality spell back and use it once more. This is one thing I will give the Dragonmaids. They are able to do this many, many times. Just keep going into the same monsters over and over and getting their cards back. Which I would say is admirable if they weren't dragons, of course. And my opponent surrenders. Well, you put up more of a fight in that rogue before, so I will give you credit, sir. You put up a better fight. But that is the whole idea of this deck, is to annoy the opponent to death until they are defeated. They defeat themselves, because they can't handle Dragonmaids. Now, I'm a knight. I can handle Dragonmaids all day and all night. That's what this sword is for, of course. My opponents did not have a sword, therefore they couldn't do it. So, let us go again into duel numero the second duel of the day, and we shall see more of the Dragonmaids. There are still some cards that we have yet played, and we shall summon them as well. Now, my lords and ladies, I welcome you to the second duel of the day, the second joust, another day, another joust, as we say back at the KuriKingdom. And let us see what we go here. I like to go first. As a proper knight, I like to strike first. And ask questions, never. A true knight does not question anything. He simply does as his lord commands. Well, what do we have for a hand here? What is this? Dogmatika Matrix. Interesting. Very well, very well. Oh, a Lady of the Cloth. Very well. Well, that's a very welcome sight, I must say. In lieu of having to play all of these dragons dressed as maids, it is nice to see a Lady of the Cloth here with a giant hammer ready to smite the wicked. Well, what is this? Herald of something. White relic of the Dogmatikas. Interesting. So what is that going to... What is this doing? One marks against the attack of the other. And you'll summon forth more creatures. Interesting. Alright. Dogmatika Matrix. Sending more cards to the grave. What on earth are you trying to do? You're sending forth these little cherub-looking creatures to the yonder grave. So I assume this is all part of your strategy. What is this doing? The two monsters, different names. Oh, I have to get rid of two of my own cards. Well, that's not necessarily a welcome thought. I suppose there are some cards I don't need right this minute. That's an interesting question. Let me think about this. Let me think about that. I suppose I don't need these two at the moment. I mean, these are dragons after all. I don't really need any dragons, but the gods I need the least at the moment. So we'll go with those, and we'll see where this goes. Dogmatic... I can't even pronounce that card's name. Oh. Oh, dear. What do I have to do? Send 6 cards to the grave? Well, okay. I'll definitely send the Kitchen Maid, because I can still work with that. And then 5 cards from my extra deck, you say. Well, I suppose these two I have extras of. That's not a problem. I will send this sheep. I shall send... How many cards is that? That's 1, 4 cards, 5 cards, and... I suppose this other dragon. I don't think it matters too much. Verily, my opponent was able to send much of my dragons to the grave. Like a proper saint, I have to be saying. It is proper that a saint would do such a thing. So I applaud my opponent. Thank you. You've done what I was not able to do just yet. Very well. So, but, of course, I have to do as I am paid to do. Not that I'm paid to do my job or anything, but it's a turn of phrase, that I must spite my opponent, regardless of whether I agree with them or not. Very well. What now? You have something else to summon forth? Quite possibly. What is this? Iris Sword Soul. Opponent summons a monster. Based on where it was summoned from. Summon a monster from the hand, draw cards. I see. Interesting. Certainly not ideal, but we'll activate our World Legacy's God Dragon spell. We shall be allowing us to revive the monster we sent to the graveyard. Now, thankfully, that will not activate this Sword Soul creature. It appears to be some sort of foreign swords master or something. Regardless, I was hit by some sort of phase spirit. Not ideal. I do have this other dragon, but it's not the dragon I want yet. So we shall activate our hospitality spell. This way I might summon forth the Laundrymaid and send the other one to the graveyard. Now, our Laundrymaid will send 3 cards on the top of our decks to the grave. And we'll see where it goes from there. It's going to be a bit of a tricky situation, this. A little bit difficult, but we'll see. Oh, and our welcome spell went to the grave, which does something again. Let's see. My Dragonmaids cannot be targeted this turn, which is very nice. Very nice indeed. Does this affect target? Let me double check. No, it does not. Difficult decision indeed. Not an easy situation, this one. I mean, I have my tidying. I can simply return this monster to the hand. It's not the worst idea in the world. I think... I suppose I could at least give this a shot. I mean, I'll get a monster regardless. So it's to summon forth Lady's Dragonmaid and use her effect. Now, the Iris Soul will be activating its effect to destroy Mind Maid. And whatever this does will also activate. So I have to... What are you doing now? Send a monster from into the... Oh, he's sending more cards from my extra to the grave. See, if the Dragonmaids didn't care about the extra deck, then this wouldn't be such a problem. Unfortunately, they do. Therefore, it is somewhat of an issue. Regardless, let's see what else I can get. Let's get... I'm thinking the Dragonmaid's Welcome would be welcome here. I think so. We'll activate the Dragonmaid's Welcome spell. With this, I shall search back one of mine cards. I can get back mine fusion monster, I suppose. That's not a terrible idea. The question is that the monster to defeat my opponent? I don't think it really is. Not especially. I need a high-level monster upon my board. To do what I wish to do is the thing. Who is left in my extra deck? Alright. I'll get 2 monsters on my board. I need a third, however. Adding to my hand... I suppose Hospitality? I suppose. There's not many other cards I can get back to my hand. So let's return the Kitchen Maid to my hand. I shall normal summon the Kitchen Maid. And we shall be activating our Dragonmaid's Changeover spell once more. That way I can use the dragon in my hand and the dragon on my board to summon her out. Very well. It's not much, but it's something. So let's go ahead into the battle phase. And I shall be using my Dragonmaid's effect, returning to the hand, to bring back the lady. Which will also... Oh, right, that does activate this maid's effect. I get to destroy one of these. This is unaffected by fusions, though. Thinking if I simply... Let's attack the White Relic monster. Or not. So this is unaffected as well. Very well. I guess I'll just attack into it, though. Can I do that? Yes, that I can do. Very well. Very well indeed. All right. So having done all of that, is there anything else I can summon forth that will help me? Not at the moment. Not at the moment. All right, my opponent does have quite the board on their hands, and so do I, though. Let's see, standby phase, I might fusion summon once more. I'm not sure, I think I can simply summon into another one of the housemaids, but that's clearly not what I wanted to do. Clearly not. But I will summon back Eramis, just so I have a monster upon my board. And I think I will end my turn, or I will not do anything else. I think that's good for now. Very well. I think we shall be doing that. So now the album monster will be... I guess I'll send more cards to the graveyard. I don't really need that at the moment. So... from mine extra deck or mine hand... I don't really want to send this warrior because he's a proud noble warrior. I suppose the 5-headed dragon will have to go. It isn't quite a powerful creature, but it takes a lot for me to summon the creature. Perhaps later. Alright. Certainly my opponent doesn't seem to care for mine extra deck. It seems to be a point of contention here. Alright, they're going to hit mine face down card, but I'll go ahead and activate it now. I'll return these two monsters to the hand. Provided my opponent can't summon this creature back, this should work. We shall see indeed. Because right now all they have is a swordsman. What does this do? Monster summoned from the extra deck on the field. Summon this card from the hand. Very well. Is this... I don't think this is a Dogmatika. I don't think so. But clearly this is going to involve some battle. Very well. You're going to attack the lady's maid. I shall be activating Eramis's effect, so I might summon back a monster from my hand. That way, I'll go ahead and get more things. Let's see. Yes, I'd rather just get into these large dragons so I don't have to draw into them. I think that's a better move here. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to use the Kitchen Maid's effect here, but it is a small price to pay. It is a small price. Perhaps I would have been better in the end of phase. Perhaps. But we will live with it either way. Alright, so when this monster attacks... it's only when they attack, however, so that's a good thing. Let's go ahead and activate the cleanup trap. We shall banish it from our grave. And where is the Chambermaid? To get the Chambermaid so that I might search out more cards. And I can use my welcome spell. I can still do that, however, that's fine. I should use my welcome spell in order to reclaim one of my dragons. Ugh, I feel dirty saying that. Truly. Alright. Having done that, let me think. Summons a Dragonmaid from the hand or the grave in defense mode. Fairly. Let's activate the hospitality spell. What can I revive? Revive many things. Let us get the Dragonmaid. As we do. We shall activate this Dragonmaid's effect. We shall summon back the Nursemaid. I'm going to have 5 monsters. I could have summoned forth that large dragon. I admittedly wouldn't have its ultimate power to it, but it would have been something. And my opponent gets to draw 2 more cards, I see. Very well, very well. But we'll use Dragonmaid's effect. We're going ahead and get another monster to our hands. We'll get another Stern and send the other Dragonmaid to the grave. So now we'll use Changeover to reclaim our Chambermaid. And that will activate the effect of this monster to pop and destroy... I suppose this one, because it's larger. We should destroy that monster indeed. Alright. So, what was the other effect of this? I can discard... summon a Dragonmaid. Who is banished? Hard to say, but we shall use our changeover spell. Let us go forth and summon forth another dragon. And is what we do. So we shall use... Let me think. These two. Summon forth Sheo. And that ought to allow us to do much damage to the opponent. Lest I am mistaken, yes, because I can switch out the Nursemaid for the Ernest. So that will allow me to then, of course, destroy this monster. And that, unless my opponent has something I'm unaware of, shall lead us to victory. Which feels very bad because I'm defeating the church with dragons. That's not how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to go the other way around. Well, regardless of which, that is how our deck is going to win. We are going to overwhelm the opponent with dragons. You need a mighty knight, such as myself, in order to defeat dragons. Clearly, the church was not up for it today. They should have simply said that they needed help. But sometimes the church is, you know, they're rather prideful themselves. Ironic, considering pride is a sin, but we overlook that. But regardless, we have time for one more joust of the day. So let us go forth and snuff another foe. Alrighty, my lords and ladies, I welcome you to the final joust of the day, the final duel of dragons. Still a little weird to say, considering I'm not a fan of dragons, but I will admit, the dragons have done quite a bit of good work today for us. As for this opening hand, it's an interesting affair. I'm talking about our dragon's hospitality, of course. We'll start with that and go for our chambermaid, sending forth the stern from the deck to the grave. And this actually opens up the potential of going into something different today. So what we're going to do, because we already have the welcome spell, I will get forth the changeover for later, I feel. Yes. I think that will work quite well. So, we're going to go into Our Lady's Dragonmaid, as we do, banishing our monsters to summon her forth. And this will allow me to get more monsters, but we're going to do something different here, I feel. I feel we can do something slightly different. So let's get the Laundry Maid on the field. Very good. Laundry Maid will activate its effect. Very lovely if they sent the trap card, but it's fine either way. But we're going to activate our Dragon's Welcome. This way I can recover my hospitality spell for later. Very good. And we're going to activate our Dark and Evaporating Dragon, which is quite the beastly monster. However, what it does allow me to do is perform a fusion summon with somebody different. I mean, I can do this with my spell as well. But I will be summoning forth this Light Darkness Dragon Overlord. Quite the beastly monster, quite the beastly monster. And we shall end our turn there. This monster is quite powerful. It has the ability to negate anything of my opponents. However, it will negate me as well. It is a true dragon, for it has no loyalty or any such thoughts to itself. It is a mindless beast. It will destroy anything in its path. So we shall summon it on the board and let my opponent deal with it. As we will. So, what is my opponent going to do here? They have summoned forth what appear to be the souls of the damned, or something of the like. That or it's a very fanciful Halloween decoration, one of the two. Hard to say, but yes, that will be stopped. Like I said, anything my opponent attempts to do, as long as my monster has enough attack points, will be stopped. Which essentially just adds up to 3 stops of any card. So that's what's just happened. My opponent has lost 3 uses of card, but they still have the rest of their cards. Oh, that just activates anyway. Indeed, but my opponent still gets to do their effect. So this is some form of, what do you call it? These are like reptile people? I mean, that's straight up just a reptile, a dragon or something. Is it a dragon? It kind of looks like it. I'm going to say that's a dragon. But the rest of this is monsters of the serpent variety. Interesting. But yes, the Dragon Lord is going to just keep activating its effect. Not relevant, but it is something that's just going to keep happening. Doesn't really affect us in any meaningful way. Add a monster from mine grave to mine hand, you say? Oh, certainly. Why not? What do I want to get back? I suppose, the Parlor Maid? Why not? We'll use the Parlor Maid again. Very well. I mean, they gave me back one of my cards for free. Interesting choice to do that. And I can use Airness, so why not? Let us use this on my opponent's turn. I shall summon forth the Parliament now, and this will allow me to send more monsters to the grave. Alright. I shall summon forth whatever this creature is. Now, thankfully, I'm not negating myself, otherwise that would be very, very strange. But we shall send another monster to the graveyard. That way, when the battle phase occurs, I can return my monsters to mine hand and bring back monsters from mine grave. Granted, I can't summon back the Stern with the monsters I have, but I can summon back Ernest for certain. And that's about it, but that's fine. Actually, I can summon back the fusion monster, the Lady's Maid. Alright. So, still waiting for my opponent to actually do something. I mean, they got all these serpents and creatures that are definitely not serpents. For certain, that's not a serpent at all. But I haven't seen them actually summon forth anything dangerous. What is this? Skeletal Soldier, summoning forth a monster from yon graveyard. Very well. Summoning back the Halloween Lantern. Summoning forth this creature. The Mantis Monk. You said this is not like any monk I've ever seen. Most monks are static in their nature, and they pray all day. This doesn't look like it prays too much. Unless I am the prey, in which case, you'll be finding yourselves in quite a bit of trouble there. Anyway, they added themselves a trap card, and what is this? Target a banished reptile. Send a reptile to the graveyard. Fascinating. Fascinating indeed. But my opponent surrenders. What was the point of all those cards you played? I'm very confused and confuddled. Well, regardless, my opponents surrendered themselves. They clearly understood that we are on the side of righteousness. Therefore, we were victorious no matter what they were going to do. So, we shall go and retire to the end of the screen and see what this deck had to offer today. Verily, my lords and ladies, the deck of the Dragonmaids went uncontested. Now, granted, all of mine foes, save perhaps of the church, were unworthy of the power of this deck. For while I do not agree with dragons in any way, shape, or form, I will admit they are large and they are quite powerful. That is why you need a most noble knights to slay them, and we didn't see any noble knights today. Therefore, we could not be stopped by much. So we were able to summon forth our various Dragonmaids. We were able to summon forth the fusions very much. The only thing we didn't get to summon forth was, say, this five-headed dragon creature, which it is possible to summon forth. It does take quite a bit to do its entire effect, but just having this on the board can be quite troublesome for some foes. It is quite large. It is immune to all cards. It is a card that would be banned in the KuriKingdom if it existed. I've never seen anyone with this card before. Thankfully, I'd have to punch them in the nose if they did. But regardless, we were able to summon forth our Dragonmaid, and our opponents had to deal with it. And they couldn't do that very well, could they? So regardless, I thank thee all for joining us for the day of jousts and duels here on the Yugioh Pro. Thank you very much. Consider the liketh button if thou art so inclined, and also consider the subscription to this channel, whatever that means. I'm not sure what that means. I think it means that you're joining the Memphis Kingdom. So consider becoming a vassal of the Memphis Kingdom yourselves, and it will be most fortuitous for all. So thank thee once more for joining us for this day of duels and jousts. I, SirMemphis, must depart for now, but I shall see thee again very soon when it is time for the olden week of the Highlander, which shall be quite soon, quite soon. So until then, I bid thee all farewell. Very well, haveth the best of days.